I just learned that Kelley Blue Book has now entered into the housing market. And what they're offering is kind of like Zillow, only more interactive. So for homeowners, buyers, sellers, what they're doing is they're offering you a valuation on the home that you are either buying or selling. And the reason why this is different than what you're going to find on Zillow is because it gives you the opportunity to actually put the information in about the home, which is different from Zillow because number one, doesn't allow you to do that. And number two, because Zillow pulls from the public information. So if you have a home that hasn't sold since 1980 something, it doesn't know if it's had an updated kitchen or any of those things. It's only pulling from the public records. So they're claiming that they're going to be within 3% of the home sale value. This is really interesting to me. This is Kelley Blue Book, the same people that we have used for years and years and years to value our vehicles for trade-in, private sale, etc. So really interesting to me. Now, they're not in the area of Newport Richey, which is where I'm at. I did put it in and they said we are not available right now. And that, stay tuned. They will be coming soon. From an agent perspective, it's a free tool for homeowners, buyers, sellers, etc. But from an agent perspective, it's not really a free tool. We would actually have to sign up. And basically, I haven't been able to go through as a buyer or a seller. But what I'm guessing is that it asks you, just like all of the platforms do, a series of questions. And one of those questions is probably, do you have an agent? Are you interested in connecting with an agent? And then where we would come in is that if we were to subscribe and pay for this service through Kelley Blue Book, then when you said yes, you would then be sent over as a lead to the agent, the premier agent in the area. Now, will it actually be a premier agent? Is it exclusive, to only a certain agent in an area? I highly doubt it. It's just a way for Kelley Blue Book to diversify their services. So from an agent perspective, if you end up connecting with an agent, just like on Zillow, those are agents that pay for the leads. They're not necessarily number one in the area. They could be number one in their area, but they're agents that pay for leads. And that's typically how agents find their business, is they pay for leads. There are a few agents out there that do it organically. I do it organically. I don't pay for any type of leads. Number one, they're super expensive, and I just really can't justify spending that kind of money. And number two, I'm really kind of committed to growing organically. And in doing that, I just kind of go out there and farm for myself. So anyway, Kelley Blue Book has entered the real estate market. Pretty interesting, don't you think? Also, let's talk about the market right now. It's not really anything wonderful to talk about. It's kind of slow. You have a lot of agents that'll come on here and say, oh my gosh, you're selling off the shelf, and there's no problems, homes aren't sitting, they're selling, and if you price it right, blah blah blah. And to that point, yes, if you price your home right, it will sell faster. But inventory is up, homes are sitting longer on the market, interest rates are still up, and really people are really kind of feeling it in their wallet as far as the prices of everything, from the grocery store to the vehicle prices to just everyday merch prices. And they're cutting and they're rethinking what they're willing to pay for. And so, they're going down their wish list and they're saying, well, you know what, I probably don't need that brand new kitchen, or I could do without that brand new kitchen. Especially if it comes at the tune of $20,000. So, homes are really they're moving, but they're moving a little bit slower. Some people would say that the market is actually balancing out, not fizzling out, and maybe that's true, but they're definitely not flying off the shelf. You may have the one-off that does fly off the shelf, and this agent that you saw them post, and oh my gosh, under contract in only 3 days. And maybe that is true, or maybe it's not true. I've actually looked up a couple of them just to kind of see, because I was curious. And it hasn't always turned out to be true. So, they can kind of post whatever they want, because who's going to take the time to go look? Who cares, right? But at the end of the day, it's anticlimactic. There's nothing major going on out there, right? Buy, don't buy, sell, don't sell. It's just kind of a market. So it's an everyday average market, you guys, and we haven't seen that in so long. We're used to such highs and lows that we're just like, oh my gosh, what's happening out there? But in reality, nothing is really happening out there. I mean, it's just your everyday market. So keep your eye on the interest rates. You know, if you buy now, you can always refinance and get a different interest rate. You know, remember, you date the rate, and short sales, they are increasing out there, which means that foreclosures are increasing, and they're going to increase out there because people are truly struggling out there financially. They are truly struggling. You know, you'll hear some people that say, no, there's no struggle out there and everything's fine. And so, but you know what, truth is, I mean, wallets are kind of tight right now. So people are holding on to their money, and they're thinking twice about it. Now, we still do have a pretty big migration from the north down here. So people sell their homes up there. They get top dollar up there, and then they come down here and they're paying cash, and they're, you know, buying our homes. That is still happening. We still have people that are just getting into investment properties, or who are still building their investment portfolios, which is super important because those are always opportunities. That's also increasing the rentals out there. And then, of course, with all of the new home builds, from pre-planned communities to apartments and condos and townhomes, that is offering more places for people to live. And so that is also contributing to these homes that are sitting on the market because inventory is up, because people are having more options. So usually that's kind of how pricing works, right? When there's a crunch and there's not enough available, prices go up because people can increase their price because they know they have a product that other people want, and so they can get the top value for that, because you can't go someplace else and get that product. But when you have an overabundance of a certain product, then you have to adjust your pricing because you can go anywhere and get it. And so that's kind of how pricing works everywhere. It works in grocery stores, it works everywhere. So food for thought, just to kind of summarize, KBB, Kelley Blue Book, they're in the housing market. I don't know if that's going to be really valuable for anyone, to be honest with you, who wants to learn a whole nother platform. Again, we might be kind of familiar with it when it comes to the vehicles. I personally have used Kelley Blue Book for years, and I find it a little cumbersome. There's a lot of questions that you have to go through just to get the value of your vehicle. Also, I learned that this is not going to be an instant value. It's going to take about a day for them to get the value back to you. So I'm not exactly sure how it works because I haven't been able to get on. Because they're not in our area. As a buyer seller, I did request a demo as an agent, but I'm not sure what that looks like. It's just something that you submit, and then I wait to hear back from them. So I'll just be really interested to find out what's going to happen with this. But at the end of the day, who wants to learn another platform? That's why I stay active on Zillow, because that's where you guys go. It's where I used to go too. I mean, right? I have other things, you know, available to me, and I can send you the link to my site and you can search on my site. But why do you want to register, download, and learn a whole nother site when you are familiar with Zillow? So I always tell all of my clients, go on Zillow, find what you're looking for, send it to me. We will dig in, we will get you in the door, because that's what you're used to using. So, you know, I mean, I have my site, you can always use my site, but you're used to using Zillow, and you should go where you're comfortable. I think that you're going to find more of what you're looking for where you're comfortable at, and you're going to enjoy the experience a little bit more, because a lot of it really is about the experience. And home buying and selling on both sides, it's super stressful for everybody involved, and I have taken it as my mission, one of my missions anyway, to make the process less stressful any way that I can. And I think that one of those ways is by not forcing you to use and learn and register for a whole new platform or another app to download. So I do have some newer things in the works. I think that will be helpful for people who have not yet connected with me. And so I'm really excited about launching those. I've been working with my broker to make sure that everything is correct and within compliance. So once I get all the tweaks worked out and stuff, I will be pushing those things. Again, because I don't use leads, and so I have to be creative and come up with my own lead generation. And if you're a real estate agent out there, whether you are new or have been in the business for a long time or not, and you want to know how to do things without paying for them, message me, because I can definitely help you with that. I know how to work quite a few systems that are helpful in advertising, lead generation, and just kind of connecting with everybody. So if you're interested, message me. And if you're a buyer, a seller, and you want a free home valuation, give me a call or message me. I would be happy to do one for you and let you know what your home is worth and how quickly I think that it could sell in today's market and in your area. There's a lot of things to consider. I don't know if Kelley Blue Book is going to consider that. It's truly more of a human aspect. You know, we have our overall market, and let's just use Florida for example. We're in the state of Florida, so we have Florida as a market, then we have our county, then we have our city, then we have our neighborhood, and I like to call that our micro markets. So that is really what's happening in your neighborhood, or maybe even the neighborhood next door to you. That's where we really kind of dig in and we start looking at every single thing in that neighborhood and we start dissecting it. We start looking at the homes that have sold, the homes that are for sale, the homes that people are buying, what they're looking for. And we start comparing houses to houses, apples to apples, and that's where we really start digging in. And that's something that your Kelley Blue Book, that is not going to do for you, right? Again, they're pulling from public information and from input from other people. But as real estate agents, we truly do offer a service that you can't replace with automation. Now, I am a proponent for AI. I think that it is really valuable. I think that we've been actually using it for years at different levels, and I just think that we're at the next level now. It's more complex, it's more intense, but I can tell you that AI does not work on its own. There is a human component to it, and it's what you put into it. So if you just put a little bit into it, you're going to get like very vague information back. The more that you put in it, the more that you prompt it, the more that you question it. I mean, there's times that I have to go back and I have to say, I have to remind my chat, I use ChatGPT, I have to remind them, hey, today is July 22nd, it is Wednesday, I live in Florida, I live in Pasco County, and I have to remind it. And there's times that I will ask it questions that I know what the answer is, and I want to see what its response is going to be. And sometimes it's actually wrong, and I have to say, well, hey, listen, that's not correct information. And then I'll give it another prompt and I'll give it a little bit of information. So you actually have to train it. And there's a lot of ways that you can train your ChatGPT. But what I'm saying is that I am a proponent for AI, ChatGPT, and all those types of things. So I'm not against it. I'm not against automation. But what I'm saying is that there is a huge, huge human component to it that is very valuable. So don't undervalue your real estate agents out there. And if you're a real estate agent and you're not using AI or ChatGPT, get on board. And if you need help, reach out. Let's kind of work through it together. Let's find out what your goals are as far as your AI journey and your ChatGPT, and find out how it can work for you. Because again, we've all been using this forever and ever and ever. We're just at the next level, and it is super smart. We've always had this information available to us. It's just the way that ChatGPT works is it basically can kind of interpret what you're trying to find out and what you're trying to say, and it really kind of already knows the answers to a lot of the questions that you're trying to figure out. Whereas back in the day when we had to Google everything, we had to know the questions that we were trying to ask, and if you didn't know the question that you were asking, it was going to be very difficult for you to get the answer. So it's just another level of information out there, you guys. So don't foo-foo it. Don't, go against it. It's going to be out there no matter what. You can say I'm not going to use it, and that's fine. But I just think that there's so much value in it in your every single day life, whether you're a real estate agent or not. I mean, honestly, there's so much value out there. I mean, I would actually challenge you. If you don't have ChatGPT, there is a free version. It is pretty much a number one. I pay for mine because I want a lot more out of it. But I will challenge you, if you are retired If you are a worker and you have no reason, you think, to use ChatGPT in your job, if any of that is you, I want to challenge you to think about a vacation, a place that you have always wanted to go or that you would like to go. And I would challenge you to download the ChatGPT app, or you can even go on the desktop and use the desktop site. And so I would challenge you to go in there and put in some basic information. You don't have to tell them your name and where you live and your age and all your social security number and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. Go on there and say, hey, I want to go to Dublin, Ireland, and I've got 7 days. I'll be flying out of Tampa International Airport. Create me an itinerary to include my travel time and take me to some of the most popular places. Include a few experiences, a few photo opportunities, and whatever else that you're looking for, and then submit. And guess what? It's going to come up with an entire itinerary, and you're going to look at that and say, oh wow, that just literally planned it for me in less than 15 minutes, probably 5 seconds, however long it took for you to put the prompt in. And then you may read through it and say, okay, awesome. That's a starting point, you guys, and that's where people go wrong. So people put this information into ChatGPT and then they stop. They get what they think is their answer that they're looking for, and then they stop and they walk away. And I mean, maybe 10% of the time that is a satisfactory answer that you're looking for. But the thing of it is that you can dig in a little bit further in that. So now using that same exact prompt and result that you had, taking the result and now go in and add to it and say, hey, I want you to add in stops for popular food along the way. And I'm looking to have a romantic or a fancy dinner. And where can I get the best Irish beer? And where is the best place to watch a sunrise or a sunset? And you can really just kind of start digging in. Can you create me a roadmap of all of the castles in Ireland that I can go see? And I want to see the Blarney Stone and, all these different things. And it will literally just keep going through and critiquing it to what the prompt is that you're giving it until you finally have a product that is completely satisfied. And here's the thing, then you can take that and you can sleep on it. And then in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you might say, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about this. I want to do this, or I want to know this. And so you can go in there and say, hey, you know what? Add this to the itinerary. Or I would rather do this instead of what I said earlier. So remove that, whatever it is. Remove the castle tour and add this instead. And then it will do that. It will go back to the original time that you went in and talked to them, and it will add to that same conversation. So you can keep using that same conversation. You can create a project. There's all kinds of things that you can do with it. So if you're not using ChatGPT, you need to get in there and you can use it. There's all kinds of people that you can follow on the internet that will give you prompts and so on and so forth. But honestly, I think that some of the fun is learning it yourself. There's a lot of conversations, especially in real estate. They want you to go to these seminars and these classes to talk about ChatGPT. And I've sat in a couple of them, and I've not really found them very useful in the way that I use ChatGPT. And I am constantly refining how I even use ChatGPT, and I'm constantly learning too. I mean, you guys, it's new to all of us, really, if you think about it. It's not like it's been out there forever and we have our parents and teachers that can teach us and show us how to use it. That's not the case at all. It's new. It's new out there. So we're all kind of learning it together. So the more that we can learn and the more that we can share with each other and we can find the value in it, the better that it's going to go. So going back to that conversation, when you're finally ready, you can, maybe you're not ready. So maybe you're going to say, hey, you know what, chat, I need you to come up with a compact packing plan, right? Like, I want to pack my suitcase, but I only want to bring the necessities because I want to have room in case I buy something there to bring it back. Also, I don't really want to complicate it, right? Like, I need a couple of these types of clothes. So based on the weather at the time of the year that I want to go, create a packing list for me so that I can optimize my space and I can meet carry-on and check-in bag requirements for the airlines. And it's just going to give you like an average for the airlines, because each airline is going to be different, but it's going to give you an overall average. And it'll literally create you that list. Is it, you know, and a lot of people are like, oh no, you can't do that because then we're not even thinking of ourselves anymore. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. I mean, think about that. People said that about calculators too. And I can go on the calculator and I can put 2 + 2 and it's going to give me the answer. And I don't have to think about it, but it doesn't make me any less valuable because the calculator does that for me. It still needs my input. And then I still have to take that equation, that answer, and do something with it. So what? It told me 2 + 2 is 4. Big deal. Now what? What do I do with that information? Why did I want that information? How am I going to apply that information in my life, or in my task, or in my job, or my project, or my vacation? That's the important thing that I think that people are missing and they're not talking about, because everybody really likes to I think glamorize that AI is going to take over and we're going to have these, you know, walking robots, which, I mean, we kind of already do. They're out there, you guys, and that's kind of weird to me, but I mean, it is what it is. Honestly, if I could have a car drive me to work every day and take me home, I would do that. I mean, I know that there is some out there, and I think they're coming to like Orlando, Tampa. I forgot what they were called. Anyway, I mean, I probably couldn't afford it, but I would totally do that, because honestly, I can't stand driving. Hate it. So anyway, I'm just saying, get on board. So going back through, we talked about Kelley Blue Book has entered the real estate market for both agents, home buyers, and sellers. And we have talked about AI and ChatGPT and how you can use that in your business. We've also talked about organically growing your network on both sides. It's slow, it's not easy, but it is worth it in the end, because you create systems that you can repeat as opposed to leads that you have to chase and money that you have to keep paying. There's a lot of value in that, you guys. I work really hard for my money, and so I don't just want to give it up to somebody who's already done that. And some people might say, hey, you know what, I'll pay for the convenience. I'm just not willing to do that. What else did we talk about? Oh, the real estate market. It's you know what, it's just a normal everyday average market. It's nothing exciting. We can make it exciting, but it's nothing exciting, right? We just have to be creative out there. We have to be honest out there. We have to have honest conversations. I actually recently was able to list a house, and the main reason I was able to list the house is because the previous real estate agent that they had gone with was not honest with them. He basically told him, he was a salesperson, he basically said, you know, homes are flying off the shelf in this neighborhood, in this area, and they are not. And I don't even know that they ever really did, to be honest with you. I mean, they may have sold a little bit faster during that housing boom, but I don't know that they've ever really, you know, flown off the market. But anyway, he told him all those things, and then he did not actually deliver the results. And it's not just about the home selling, it's about what you're doing to sell the home, because I truly believe that productivity looks a certain way to certain people. And so whether that is in your everyday 9-to-5 job or that's in real estate, for some people, buying a house looks a certain way. Selling a house looks a certain way. And so you have to do real estate the way that they're used to seeing real estate. And is that, you know, a pain in the butt? Yeah, sometimes it is, because sometimes we know that these particular ways aren't going to work, but that's how they're used to seeing real estate. And that's to them, that means that you're actually doing the job that you say that you're going to do. It doesn't mean that you can't do the other things. Absolutely do the other things. But sometimes you have to build your credibility out there, because not everybody's going to go with you because you said so. And if they do go with you because you said so, 9 times out of 10, they end up leaving you because you said so and then you didn't deliver. So anyway, I hope everybody has a really good day. It is actually Wednesday, July 22nd, and I have bowling tonight, so I have my bowling pin on. I don't know if you can see it. And I am driving to my 9-to-5 because I work 2 jobs because why not? What am I doing in between? You know, I have time and I might as well go out there and continue earning money. And it allows me to stay at a certain level of real estate that I'm comfortable in and do certain things in real estate that I probably wouldn't have been able to do before. So it's a lot of work, because essentially I work 2 jobs. I don't do real estate part-time, I do real estate full-time. But I essentially work 2 jobs, so it is a lot of work keeping up with everything and doing everything. But you know what? it's for everybody, and I'm building this amazing career, and I'm having a great time doing it. I'm learning, and I am connecting, and I'm building relationships, and I am building my credibility and my reputation out there. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe out there, and get on ChatGPT, y'all. Plan your vacation.